Bears, the largest land omnivores on the planet, and considered one of the most dangerous animals you can encounter. And when it comes to these two bears, they don't get any deadlier. Freddy Fazbear, the animatronic with a killer intent, and Akakabuto, the demon from hell. I'm one fish mob, and it's my job to see who would win in a fight. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a family-friendly restaurant chain that is reminiscent of Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese, and was once a popular franchise. That was until the series of unfortunate events. From the infamous bite of 87 to the most tragic case at the restaurant to date. Several years ago, a birthday party was being held at the restaurant like usual. That was until a man wearing a suit that looked like one of the animatronics lured 5 kids into a secluded back room and proceeded to murder all of them. After the event took place, one of the animatronics at the time, the marionette, more or less mistook the corpses for an average endoskeleton and proceeded to place them into animatronic suits. This resulted in the spirits of the 5 children possessing said animatronics and being forced to endure 38 years in these tombs. And the one to lead these morbid animatronics is the mascot of the pizzeria itself, Freddy Fazbear. Having been around for 38 years, Freddy has a lot of stuff in his arsenal. He has an unrivaled knowledge of the pizzeria, and his suit kind of protects his endoskeleton. But the real magic of his arsenal comes in the form of his microphone and pizza wheels. His microphone is used for playing songs that aids in combat, and he can attack foes by manifesting pizza wheels. Despite being made of bread, cheese, and pepperoni, these pizza wheels can damage metal and attack multiple targets at once. However, Freddy is not just limited to his arsenal. In the FNAF World spin-off, he is given a larger arsenal of attacks, which includes said pizza wheels. The escape key has a chance to insta-kill all enemies, and the mic toss is a medium-range attack that does small damage to one enemy. His bite attack is more than strong enough to crush the skull of a child, but it can be upgraded into a mega bite, a bite capable of killing enemies 3 times bigger than Freddy. He can use the power song to increase his strength, defense, and stats. He can use the heal song to heal himself, and he can use the ability known as Birthday to raise stats of himself and all of his team. But the one attack to look out for would definitely be the Amp, an electric attack that deals massive damage. Despite being an old animatronic, he has done many impressive things you wouldn't think he'd be able to do. He is so sneaky he is barely seeable, unless in close observation, is experienced at killing night guards for about 2 weeks, thanks to him being strong enough to stuff a person into a suit filled with robotic parts, his slightly fast movements, can rip through metal, and being a possessed robot, he won't die if his physical body is destroyed, though he can't do much as a ghost. However, being an old animatronic has its flaws. He only recognizes people as metal endoskeletons without their costumes on after hours, was dismantled in the second game, electricity is lethal to his body, he regularly fights with a group rather than alone, he has no formal combat training, can easily be damaged, doesn't really fight much, prefers to defeat his victims with surprise ambushes and overpowering them when they don't expect it. All of his movement is done by the ghost inside of him, and his animatronic body was killed by the purple guy, the very same murderer responsible for his first death, physically up close and personal. However, after 38 years and his second death at the hands of Purple Guy, he was eventually able to rally up with the souls of the other kids, kill the Purple Guy by tricking him into hiding in a malfunctioning spring-lock suit, and was finally able to pass on into the afterlife with the other 4 kids, leaving behind the truth that no one will ever know. The world of Ginga is an unforgiving world where you either have to be stronger than your opponents, or your pack is going to have larger numbers than your rival's pack. And in this world, a large roster of bad guys are abundant, from a tyrannical Jala that eats the children of dogs and macaques, to cannibal dogs who learn ninjutsu, all the way to the very first villain in the franchise, Akakabuto. Akakabuto first began his reign of terror by attacking and killing cattle and striking fear into the local farmers. But Akakabuto eventually moved from just cattle to eating humans. Afterwards, hunters set out to find and kill Akakabuto, with the bear attacking and killing all the hunters and their dogs that came after him. After many years of Akakabuto ruling over the land known as Futago Pass, he was considered unstoppable. However, a dog he saw he had once killed, Riki, had begun gathering dogs and increasing the size of its pack to create an army that would destroy Akakabuto. Seeing no other option, Akakabuto knew he'd have to fight them eventually, but he wouldn't do it alone, and so he began to gather his own bears to compete against Riki's pack. But in order to battle a pack of this magnitude, he's going to need some weapons and abilities. As a bear, he has teeth and claws. These weapons can easily rip and tear into flesh and can cause lethal or at least great damage. He is also incredibly strong. He effortlessly tore a tree down and effortlessly ripped off another bear's head from its body. To complement his strength, he has incredible durability. He has survived having a bullet shot into his brain and then being shot again at point blank range. But having one eye does not hold him back. He can continue fighting by using his senses, which allows him to continue battling as if he can see even when completely blind. And despite being an animal, he is actually pretty smart. He knew that he had to gather bears to combat the increasing size of the rival dog pack, learned the range and firepower of a gun just by looking at it in action, and was clever enough to manipulate and lure the harpoon bear into a deadly blow. As a bear of his type, he is a monster. He easily killed a mother cow, killed armed hunters, endured 2 Zetsu Tenryuba Tugas to the back, which was supposed to have disabled his arms, but instead shook it off rather quickly. The brain damage he sustained actually helped him increase in size and actually made him even more dangerous. Survived falling down a valley which was deep enough to kill a normal dog. Ruled over Futago Pass for years, and killed numerous dogs in one easy swoop. But due to what Akakabuto is, when it comes to weaknesses, he has very few but are rather critical flaws in combat. He has been knocked off his feet by surprise attacks by multiple dogs, from Moth from Misty Mountain to Riki, Gin, and Ben attacking all at once, and he was ultimately killed by the only attack that could kill him, the Zetsu Tenryuba Tuga. And thus, with Akakabuto dead, the dogs and humans could return to living normal lives, until the events of Ginga Densetsu and the Last Wars.
Fight!
So why did Akakabuto win? Well, even though Freddy is physically strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Akakabuto, could easily catch Akakabuto off guard with surprise attacks, and his FNAF world powers could keep Akakabuto on edge. But in the end, Akakabuto was a far superior fighter. He has more combat experience, is more than capable of tanking all of Freddy's attacks, is far larger, and is just physically more destructive than what Freddy is. Heck, even though the Megabyte could kill Akakabuto, Akakabuto has survived circumstances and injuries that should have killed him before. So there's no saying that Akakabuto can't just survive the Megabyte. So in the end, Akakabuto was just bigger, stronger, and more durable and more experienced. Looks like Freddy just sang his last song. The winner is Akakabuto.